What's going on, guys? So I told you this morning I had a business meeting I had to go to, but I open up my laptop as soon as I get to the hotel, and what do I see? We have a new stimulus proposal from President Trump. As of right now, what we know based on what Larry Kudlow has stated, and we don't know many details because Nancy Pelosi hasn't come out, Steve Mnuchin has not came out, and President Trump himself has not really told us what is in this stimulus proposal. But what we do know as of today is it's for $1.8 trillion. Now, this has been a long time coming, so this is really good news. Right now, any stimulus talks, any stimulus plan, any stimulus proposal is exceptional news, at least in my opinion, and I hope it is for you as well. Right now, what we know is Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi are meeting. They're supposed to meet, I believe, in person to go over this stimulus proposal and hammer out the final details of this plan. So that's what we know right now. Now, based on all reports, Nancy Pelosi is not opposed to coming off that $2.2 trillion stimulus offer that they initially had, the HEROES Act 2.0. Well, so this is actually really good news because we're $400 billion away. We're very close, and I think we can get there. I think this $1.8 trillion package could be it, and if it is not, I believe Democrats and Nancy Pelosi specifically will come down to at least 1.9, and President Trump could ultimately go up to 1.9 as well. Many people believe right now it is 1.9 is probably the closest we're going to get. So we will see what happens there. Larry Kudlow, who's normally very, pessimistic, he's usually not very optimistic about much. He came out this morning and gave us an update and let us know that this deal is very close. At least that's what he was indicating. So this is really good news. Also, the language within the bill, based on all reports, it has already been mostly agreed to. So the nice thing about this is we don't have to worry about the deal going back and forth between Pelosi and Mnuchin much longer. Many are anticipating we could see an agreement today, but most likely we will not see any votes until next week. So that's what we need to keep an eye on there. Because again, just because there's a deal does not mean it is actually going to be a deal until the House and the Senate both vote to pass this and President Trump decides to sign it. So right now, what we know is there's still a handful of details that are left to go over, and those hopefully will be done today. We still haven't heard from Nancy Pelosi or Steve Mnuchin yet, so I don't anticipate doing another video today. I will do another update tomorrow morning, as long as there's something new that comes out. So again, make sure you go ahead and click that like button down below, and also subscribe so I can keep you updated on everything that's going on. Right now, we just don't have an exact proposal to look at. That's usually what I like to do. I like to open up PDF, look at the proposal, figure out what's in it, how it's going to help the American people, how it's going to help myself as a business owner, or maybe you as well. But we just don't have that yet. But what we do know, based on these reports, is that the $1.8 trillion stimulus package is most likely almost identical to that $2.2 trillion stimulus proposal from Nancy Pelosi, the HEROES 2.0, except most are anticipating the items that have been taken out. There hasn't been a lot of making a smaller package as far as bringing all the amounts down. What's been done based on these reports is that they have taken out all unrelated COVID expenses, any funding for something that's outside of COVID. So cannabis banking had no bearing on COVID, so they want to take that out, and that's what many people were expecting. Also, as far as tax cuts for the super rich, the wealthy, those essentially are going to be taken out as well. So here's what it does include. It includes a $1,200 stimulus check to the American people. It also includes $500, based on this report, $500 per dependent of all ages. This will not be retroactive though. So if you didn't get a stimulus check the first time, then you will get the second one, but it won't be retroactive from the first one. So that is what the report's saying. But again, until we have the PDF, can't be 100% sure. It's most likely going to be between $400 to $500 for unemployment per week. That's down from 600, so that is still a little bit of a issue with Nancy Pelosi, but hopefully she'll see that this is still beneficial. There's also state and local government funding. We don't know the amount just yet. However, most are anticipating it will not be $400 billion like Nancy Pelosi was wanting. It's also PPP funding for businesses, rental and mortgage assistance, food assistance, school funding, and even EIDL loans. This was really great. This helped small business owners, gig workers, freelance workers, even independents get a $1,000 forgivable loan from the Small Business Administration. So that was really good. The $2.2 trillion stimulus package was not a bad package. A lot of people thought it was too expensive, which for a Republican it was. For Democrats, they thought it was not enough. Well, right now, based on these reports, the $1.8 trillion stimulus package is getting more support from Republicans, from Senate Republicans, than the initial $1 trillion HEALS Act that Mitch McConnell proposed a couple months ago. So that's really good news there. So this means that President Trump has not only been working with Steve Mnuchin, maybe Mitch McConnell, but he's also been getting the support. He's drumming up support from Senate Republicans to pass this. We need it to pass through the House, but if it can't pass through the Senate, then it does us absolutely no good. So that's very crucial as well, and it seems like President Trump has already done that. So again, this is really good news. This, again, in my opinion, this is great news. We are getting somewhere. And finally getting somewhere with the whole stimulus package, not just standalone bills like President Trump was initiating or was initially referring to, like, maybe stimulus checks, but chances are it wasn't going to happen. But it was airline funding and PPP funding. That's great if you are an airline or if you have a small business or a business in general. The majority of people do not have a business and are not an airline executive. So why do they care about either one of these packages or standalone proposals? They don't. So it seems like now is finally the time Congress is coming together and going to work something out. Now, what I can tell you right now, okay, all we know is we are waiting on word from Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin as to where they're at, how close are they, what are they discussing, what are the issues or the holdups. Once we know this, it's going to make things a whole lot easier. It's going to clear everything up, because as of right now, we know it's $1.8 trillion. It's most likely going to include everything from the HEALS Act except for unrelated COVID issues, and it is going to hopefully address everything in the language that Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin want. So what I can tell you right now is the upcoming stimulus proposal is still has a chance that it doesn't pass. It is $400 billion less than what Nancy Pelosi wanted. And what I can also tell you is most likely this bill does not include the $400+ billion that Nancy Pelosi wanted for state and local governments. This could be a problem moving forward. However, most are anticipating it will not be, and Nancy Pelosi has agreed to a lower amount as long as it has the proper language. Again, we have to understand the language. If we don't understand the language, we don't understand what they're talking about, that's where things could fall apart and get a little bit murky. So we got to watch that. Another potential issue, like I already stated, Nancy Pelosi won $600 per week for unemployment. Most likely this bill does not include that. That is one of the ways they were able to cut down on the cost, is by giving a lower amount and possibly only running unemployment until December 31st. Nancy Pelosi won an additional 4 to 5 weeks to go all the way to January 31st. So we'll see what happens there. But again, unemployment is going to get hit hard. There are many people right now, especially in Detroit, who are struggling because the unemployment is just not cutting it. So we'll see what happens. Right now, the best part about this news is not really the package itself, because we don't have any knowledge or exact knowledge of the package. What we know is the best part is the willingness between President Trump and Nancy Pelosi to negotiate off of their initial offers. Nancy Pelosi was set on $2.2 trillion. President Trump was fairly set on 1.5 to 1.6, so he's come up a little bit. There is some wiggle room, there is some agreement, there is some give and take here, so I think that's really good. because we all know Nancy Pelosi and President Trump do not get along. So again, as I know more, there's a lot of questions surrounding this proposal, this stimulus plan. What's it going to entail? How much for what? We don't know all those exact details yet, but as I know more, I promise you, I will keep you updated. Now, I don't know for sure if I'm gonna do another video early tomorrow morning. Like I said, I do have a business meeting that I have to attend, so I'm gonna get that done if I can. If there's new updates early in the morning, I will do that. I'll give you another update. So like I said, all you gotta do, click that like button down below. Also, click that subscribe button so I can keep you updated, and I'll see you guys on the next one.